Chosen one. A cycle has ended. Feel the change. You are standing at the threshold of something completely new. The wind has changed direction. The patterns that used to define your days, the energies that once held you still, and the resistance that clung to your every move have all begun to dissolve. This is not just another day in your journey. It is the moment when a long, exhausting cycle finally comes to its end. You may not even realize how far you've come, because for a long time, it felt like the path would never open. But listen closely. The cycle that tried to bury you has broken, and something greater, something divine, is now stepping in to take its place. So, dear chosen one, before you go any further, take a deep breath and honor the moment you're in. Watch this video all the way through. The words you're about to hear aren't just encouragement. They are a signal, a divine message calling you to awareness. And leave a comment below with your warmest wishes and the number 777 to energize the universe and affirm that your desires are alive, heard, and already moving toward you. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. You've been walking through the same spiritual corridors for what has felt like an eternity. There were times you thought you'd broken free, only to find yourself circling back again. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, it was like being inside a maze that only you could see. And yet, you kept going. And that's why this ending has found you. Because the cycle didn't break on its own. It responded to your resilience. The weight of your past chapters had to collapse. The walls had to fall. And they did. There is something extraordinary about spiritual cycles. They don't just end when things get better. They end when you transform, when your vibration reaches a frequency that can no longer support what used to confine you. And you, chosen one, have reached that frequency. You may have felt it recently as restlessness, as if something invisible inside you was shifting. You may have felt sudden urges to cry for no reason, or moments of overwhelming peace without understanding why. That's the energy of a completed chapter rising and falling away. The shift isn't coming. It already started. This is why things that used to matter don't seem to anymore. This is why certain people are fading from your life without explanation. This is why doors you once prayed would open are now irrelevant. And why new visions are appearing in your mind. Visions that seem more aligned, more real, more beautiful than what you once accepted as your future. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. Your alignment has updated. Your soul contract has shifted. And heaven is now backing your next step like never before. What has ended is not just a period of time. What ended was a karmic loop. You were in a season of repetition, facing the same emotional themes over and over again. And many times, you asked why. Why was the test repeating? Why did you keep attracting the same type of betrayal, delay, or struggle? But what you didn't see was that your soul was cleaning out generations of weight, trauma, and spiritual residue. You were the cycle breaker. You were never the problem. You were the solution. And because you stayed the course, something in the spirit realm snapped. The hold that past energies had on your lineage, it shattered. The influence of generational limits dissolved. The spiritual resistance that surrounded your name, it collapsed. The reason you feel so different today is because you are different. This is not the illusion of change. This is real. You're not repeating anything anymore. You're creating something entirely new. It's important that you understand something powerful now. You are not going back. Even if your environment looks the same. Even if your money hasn't changed yet. even if people in your life are trying to provoke the old version of you. Don't be fooled. Your spirit is not where it used to be. The tests may look familiar, but your capacity to respond has evolved. You don't have to react. You don't have to chase. You don't have to convince anyone. Because when a cycle ends, authority is transferred. You're no longer operating from survival. You're operating from sovereignty. Let that sink in. The era of spiritual survival is over. You've entered an era of spiritual sovereignty. That means you're no longer living in reaction. You're now moving in command. That means when you pray, things shift faster. When you speak, energy listens. When you walk, paths make themselves clear. You're not here to ask for crumbs anymore. You're here to claim your inheritance. And yes, it will feel strange at first, because you've lived so long in the rhythm of waiting for permission, waiting for breakthrough, waiting for confirmation. But no more. Heaven has already confirmed you. This new season is not about what's next. It's about what's now. You're not seeking the open door. You are the open door. People will come to you because they feel something different. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll sense it. That's your energy, fully awakened. You'll begin to notice synchronicities at a faster rate. You'll meet people who speak directly into your spirit without knowing you. Opportunities will present themselves out of nowhere. Paths that once seemed impossible will suddenly light up. You won't have to force it. All you'll need to do is feel it. Feel the new rhythm. Feel the peace. Feel the divine whisper guiding you toward what's already yours. The universe is not asking you to start over. It's asking you to step forward. Step forward as who you've become. That's the real change. You're not being invited to try harder. You're being invited to become bolder. You're not being called to fix your past. You're being called to embody your future. What once required effort now requires alignment. What once felt impossible is now being magnetized to you with ease. You are not who you were when this cycle began, and that's the evidence of its end. Old conversations feel empty. Outdated dreams no longer inspire you. Your standards have quietly risen, and your tolerance for spiritual nonsense has completely evaporated. That's not arrogance. That's divine clarity. You've been upgraded, and with this upgrade comes a new atmosphere, one where things will start making sense, one where closed doors won't hurt anymore, one where you'll start hearing your intuition louder than your doubt. You'll notice how fast things manifest. You'll notice how peaceful you feel after setting a boundary. You'll notice how clear you are when others bring confusion. That's not a temporary high. That's your new baseline. Welcome to the other side. It's also okay to mourn what's leaving. Not because you want it back, but because you once needed it. The old cycle gave you lessons, and now you give it gratitude. You can release it with love, knowing it shaped you. But now you're no longer shaped by your wounds. You're sculpted by your wisdom. And wisdom will guide you into places fear tried to keep you from. Your light is no longer a flicker in the dark. It is a flame, and the darkness feels it. That's why things feel quieter lately. That's why people you once depended on are stepping away. That's why noise that once felt loud is now fading into silence. The ending of the cycle comes with silence, because your next season doesn't need applause. It needs your attention. Heaven is building a new reality through you, and clarity is your currency. Keep listening to the stillness. Keep walking even when it's unfamiliar. Keep trusting what your spirit knows even when your mind hesitates. The guidance has shifted from external to internal. You no longer need proof. You are the proof. You no longer need the plan. You are the plan. That's why it feels like everything is recalibrating. Because it is. And you're doing it beautifully. You were always meant to feel this moment. You were always meant to rise here. And you didn't miss it. You didn't fail. You're right on time. The cycle has ended. And now you're being asked to do the bravest thing of all. Let go of who you were and allow who you truly are to lead. You are not entering the next season of your life by chance. You are being ushered into it. Carefully, divinely, intentionally. You are not wandering, you are being positioned. And the positioning is so precise, so exact, that certain things had to be removed first. It may have felt like you were losing pieces of your life, but what was actually happening was the clearing of everything that no longer fits into your elevation. Some relationships didn't survive because they weren't meant to witness this level of your light. Some dreams didn't manifest because they belonged to a version of you that no longer exists. And some prayers were not answered in the way you imagined, not because you were denied, but because the divine was protecting you from entering your new season with outdated blueprints. That's why this cycle had to end. Because your next phase cannot be built with recycled bricks. The energy that now surrounds you is pure momentum. You may still feel like you're in transition, but make no mistake, you are already aligned with new favor. You are already vibrating on a higher frequency, and higher frequencies attract differently. Opportunities that once ignored you will begin to seek you out. People who once overlooked you will begin to see your value. And environments that once felt heavy will now feel like cages, because your soul refuses to shrink anymore. This is a spiritual evolution. You are outgrowing what once defined you. You are expanding beyond the labels others placed on you. And this time, you're not asking anyone for permission. That's the beauty of cycles ending. They free your identity. You are no longer a character in someone else's story. You are the author of your own. And this new chapter you're stepping into, it will not resemble anything you've experienced before. But you must walk in it boldly, not timidly, not halfway. This is not the time to question whether you deserve it. This is the time to own that you do. Heaven didn't orchestrate this ending for you to doubt the beginning. All of this, the release, the redirection, the revelation, it was designed for one purpose, your rise. You've been prepared, tested, and refined in fire. Now, you walk in the flame as your light. Let this truth settle in your soul. You survived what was designed to destroy you. You healed from what was meant to break you. And you're still standing, not just as a survivor, but as a soul in full awakening. That is powerful. That is rare. That is sacred. And now, the vibration of your life is echoing this divine truth. You are ready. Ready for new alignment. Ready for divine connections. Ready for financial increase, mental clarity, spiritual activation, emotional balance. You are not stepping into a trickle of change. You are stepping into a wave. And this wave will carry you into rooms you didn't even know you were meant to walk in. You'll speak with confidence you never imagined. You'll manifest with authority. You'll receive with ease. Let go of the fear that says you still need to earn this. You already did. Your obedience, your faith, your inner work, it was not in vain. It was currency. And now that currency is unlocking the wealth of the new cycle. But understand, the wealth isn't just financial. It's energetic. It's in your peace, your influence, your opportunities, your relationships, your discernment. Your whole life is being rewired for divine wealth. That's why you feel different in rooms you used to feel small in. That's why you're uninterested in proving yourself anymore. Because something in you knows. You don't chase value. You are value. This realization doesn't make you proud. It makes you powerful. And that power is sacred. It's not for domination, it's for alignment, it's for creation, it's for living in truth. You may have moments in this transition where you still feel unsure. That's okay. Ending a cycle doesn't mean you erase the memory of the struggle, but it does mean you no longer carry it forward. From now on, your past becomes wisdom, not weight. Let that be your compass. Let your growth guide you. Let your spirit whisper louder than your fear. And when the new begins to show itself, through unexpected emails, surprise phone calls, divine encounters, don't doubt it. Don't sabotage it. Don't shrink. Receive it as confirmation that the cycle truly is over. Receive it as a gift from the divine for your endurance. And know this: what's coming knows who you are. It is not accidental. It is your reflection. You magnetized it by transforming. You are now being watched by heaven in a different way. Not as someone still in training, but as someone activated. You've passed through the fire. You've made the cut. You are now carrying the frequency of completion. And that frequency is felt beyond this realm. It sends a message that cannot be blocked. The chosen one has emerged. There will be days where this new vibration feels surreal. You'll look around and see the remnants of your old life still trying to catch up with your spirit. Be patient. Don't fight it. The physical takes time to mirror the spiritual, but the energy has already shifted. And once it shifts, reality must follow. Keep moving as if it's already done, because it is. Don't wait for others to validate the ending of your cycle. Some won't understand it. Some are still trapped in their own. They won't see what you see. They won't feel what you feel. That's not your burden. That's their journey. You were not called to wait for collective approval. You were called to walk in prophetic alignment. Feel the change. In your breath, in your decisions, in your silence, in your dreams. Feel the new ease. The way your mind no longer races to find answers. The way your soul no longer panics at uncertainty. The way your heart feels whole, even without external proof. That is transformation. That is arrival. That is peace. This peace isn't passive, it's prophetic. It declares that you are no longer in survival mode. You're no longer in the pit. You're no longer under spiritual attack. Yes, challenges may still come, but your posture is different. Your spiritual armor is stronger. Your authority is activated. You are not reacting. You are responding from a place of power. This is what happens when a cycle ends. Your story upgrades. Your energy cleanses. Your timeline shifts. The lessons are now embedded in your being, and you walk with the wisdom of many lifetimes. You don't need to keep revisiting old chapters to prove your growth. Let them be. Let them close. The story is still yours, but the pen is finally in your hands. Now walk boldly, chosen one. The cycle has ended, and everything about you is rising in a way that the world, and even you, has yet to see. When a cycle ends, your senses recalibrate. What once went unnoticed suddenly becomes obvious. You begin to see the invisible threads, the patterns that once looped in silence. You recognize the energetic traps that used to catch you off guard. You spot the emotional triggers before they're pulled. You feel when a room doesn't resonate. You know when a conversation isn't aligned. This is not paranoia. This is discernment fully activated. And this new clarity, it's sacred. It protects your energy, your future, your expansion. It shields you from repeating spiritual loops. It's why you're no longer called to explain yourself. You're no longer guided by emotion alone. Now, you're guided by inner alignment. And inner alignment always leads you away from chaos, toward peace. You don't have to chase what is already drawn to you. You don't have to fix what was never yours to carry. The ending of this cycle means your spirit has become too expansive for dysfunction to survive around you. But with every end, there is a gap, a space, a silence, an in-between moment that often feels strange and unfamiliar. You're no longer who you were, but not quite yet who you're becoming. This liminal space is not a void, it's a womb. And in this womb, you're not waiting, you're forming, you're downloading, you're aligning to the new blueprint heaven has prepared for your next assignment. Let go of the idea that you must do something right now. That's the old energy talking. In this new space, your being does more than your effort ever could. Let your spirit breathe. Let your body catch up with what your soul has already embraced. Rest is now a weapon. Stillness is now strategy. Silence is no longer a weakness. It's where God speaks. Because this time, you're not entering the next season with your hands full. You're not dragging people, pain, or plans that don't belong to your future. This time, you're traveling light. And when you travel light, you move faster. You see clearer. You hear better. And most importantly, you attract without resistance. Because resistance lives in what you refuse to release. And you've released. You release the need to be understood by everyone. You release the pressure to perform. You release the fear of being misunderstood. You released the identity that was shaped in survival. You released timelines that were never yours. And you released the illusion that anything delayed is lost. Nothing is lost. Everything is being returned. This time, refined. Chosen one, you are entering a phase where time bends for your favor, where divine acceleration takes over, where what once took years will now take days. Why? Because there is no more inner war.